Hey Scrubbers, it's Vanessa here, and today I have my first design team layout for the Color Rush Studios design team. I'll have in the description box a link to the shop, as well as you can use my coupon code for 10% off. It's 10 Vanessa, and it doesn't work on the kit itself because it's already a discount, but everything else I believe can be used in the store. So I thought what I would do is come on real time really quick, and at the beginning of the video you'll see the sketch. We're working with a sketch. All the design team members at some point this month, I think their first layout, if not later, will be using this sketch that was that we're all planning to use. And you saw that at the beginning of the video. It will pop up in the corner here in just a moment. So I thought what I would do is I'm going to show you what I'm going to use, and then I'm going to do the fussy cutting and stuff like that, and the cutting of the papers off camera because that's boring to watch, and nobody wants to sit and watch me fussy cut papers. So I'm going to lay out what I'm going to do, and then when I come back I'll have everything cut and my photos matted, and then we'll be able to like put the layout together. So I chose 3 pattern papers from the kit. I have this grid in the pink, I have the heart multicolor, and then I have the yellow with the white polka dot. I'm going to cut a 4-inch strip from the pink, a 4-inch strip from the yellow, and then probably 2 4-inch strips from the heart paper. So those are the main papers. I have a white piece of cardstock. This is actually going to get covered up with the pattern papers to make the sort of patchwork that you see in the sketch. And then I have a black cardstock that is just going to frame my layout because I like to frame my layouts. So I have that. So the only 2 things not from the kit are the white cardstock and the black. And like I said, you won't see that cardstock or the white cardstock. All right, so that being said, I'm going to cut those like I said. I'm going to mat my photos on white, and then I am going to use the tissue paper to back. I have 2 3x4 photos. I haven't printed them yet, but I have 2 3x4 photos that I will use, and I'll mat them in white and then mat them in the tissue paper. So I'll probably do that off camera, but then I'll obviously show you when I get it all back and we are live again. That'll be a voiceover, but live in the sense that that piece will be done. So then from the other pattern papers in the kit, I have pulled the tag paper. I plan to use this tag down here with the camera. I am going to fussy cut the camera out of this and use the top part of the tag, as well as this one here that says Bright Days, Bold Memories, Beautiful Life. I'm going to do the same thing where I'm going to cut the top of the tag. So I'm going to use the top of the tag, but I'm going to just cut these pieces out and use them on my page for embellishing. So I have that. I'm going to fussy cut off camera. Then on this page, this was the 3x4 elements. I am going to use this 3x4 card down here, except I'm going to fussy cut this sort of journaling box off of that one. So again, this is all stuff that you don't want to watch me fussy cut this. It's not so fun. And then from this paper here, I'm going to cut a couple of scallops to use on the page. So I have that one. And this circular elements on this page, I have a 2-inch circle punch. I'm going to punch a couple of these circles to use on the layout as well. So lots of sort of fussy cutting to get this page ready to go. And then when I come back, I'm going to go and I will do a voiceover to finish creating this page. But I wanted you to see the elements that I'm pulling and what I'm going to fussy cut off camera. So with that, I will be back and we will create the actual layout. Okay, I have all of my pieces cut, and so what we're going to do is work on the background. So I am going to create the patchwork of papers and how I want to lay them out. So you can see the yellow, I'm going to obviously cut it and place this multicolored pattern paper underneath, and then I've turned over the heart paper and I'm using both sides of that paper, and then I have one piece of the pink grid and then that yellow polka dot. And so I'm kind of just playing with the papers and trying to determine how I want to layer these up. And I think how you see them here is pretty much how, yeah, I think this is what I ultimately end up deciding to go on. So as you can see, I am, based on the sketch anyway, I am turning it. So instead of horizontal, I'm going vertical. And so I am going to glue down. I can't remember if I do all of the gluing on camera. I don't think I do. I think I show you that I'm starting with my centerpiece because I know that my strips are 4 inches each, and obviously my background, I've cut it down to 11.5 by 11.5. So I know that the 2 pieces on the end, so the yellow and the pink paper, for example, those are going to get cut down. So I'm putting my center stripe first, and I am inking all of these with Distress Oxide in Black Soot, just to pull everything together because there is a lot of pattern happening on this background, and inking the edges, since I'm not going to stitch or anything like that, it just helps pull them all together. And so I do end up inking all of the edges. Obviously that black paper, I inked the edges, but you can't even tell because it's a black background, but all the other edges will be inked, and I'm going to do that off camera. So I did that first one just so you could see, and then I went off camera, glued everything down. My photos I had matted, as I told you in the beginning, on white, and then I used the tissue paper to back each of my photos. I did cover my daughter's full name up on that second photo, but basically these photos are of my daughter when she graduated university with her bachelor's of social work, and so that is what I'm documenting today. And now at this point my background is complete, so it is to the point where we are going to embellish, and basically I pretty much follow where the title is. I do have it down below like it shows, although I don't have necessarily it in a circular element. It is down sort of in the same location as the sketch. And I do have the journaling box up here at the top, like the sketch is showing. So at this point, I am going to play with all these bits and pieces that I've pulled out. The pieces that I told you that I was going to fussy cut. So that journaling box is from a 3x4 card. These little scallops are from a 3x4 card, at least the ones with the black words, and then that black scallop is from the scallop pattern paper, and then I've punched those circles that you saw me do at the beginning. So those are my main, I'm using a lot of fussy cut elements, and those are my main embellishments for this page. So at this point I'm just trying to determine where I want to put the circles and where I want to put the scallops. I do know that I want to place one of these amazing puffy hearts, these confetti puffy hearts. I am in love with them. And I know I want to put those in each cluster. This is really, because the pattern paper in the background is just so busy, I do not add a ton of embellishments. What you see with the circles, the fussy cut elements, and I use one of the amazing acrylic titles of Proud Mama, because that's what I was for sure. For my title, I kept it pretty simple with just using those puffy hearts, the scallops, the punch circles. I did fussy cut that camera from a 3x4 card. And I did end up cutting this circle in half so that I could have it peek out on the edges of both sides of my journaling card. And the black, I think I leave the black scallops, but that pink scallop one, those move to the top of that journaling box. You'll see that here when I come back. But basically how you see me laying everything out here is pretty much how it's going to get glued down. I really love how it turned out. It's very busy, definitely different for me. But when I come back, I am going to decide to, I do add sequins on this page, and I think I do that on camera. No, I didn't. I did the sequence off camera. Now, here is where I sort of, I don't want to say I regret adding the splatters, but I kind of do. Because the splatters were a bit too wet, I guess you could say, and they ended up spreading a bit more on my page than I wanted. And so I don't love how the splatters turned out, but I guess that is the risk that you have when you do splatters. But it does definitely, I think the page needed splatters, but I feel like I didn't love how they turned out. Either way, this is the still photos, and we're going to call this one done. So be sure to check in the description box below for all the links to Color Rush Studio. And with that, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.